Hi everyone, and welcome to episode 3 of Beginner's Python Programming on Raspberry Pi. In this episode we are going to be looking at number variables. So let's get started. Remember to like this video and subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell icon so that you get a notification every time we release a new episode. Also, you can check out our website leafcutterlearning.com, where we've got links to all our videos and lots more leafcutter learning content. Okay, so in the last episode we looked at how we could remember bits of text in a Python program using variables, and in this episode we're going to do pretty much the same thing, but we are going to remember numbers. Okay, so I've opened up Thonny here on my Raspberry Pi and we're just going to dive straight in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a variable to remember a number, and it's pretty straightforward and should be very familiar to you from the previous video, but I'm just going to go x is my variable and I'm going to put the number 6 in it. And then using the print command, which we've seen before, I can output that to the shell and we can see what it looks like. So I'll just do that. And if we run it, and you can see down here, we've printed out the number 6, which is what we put in the variable x. So remember that we think about variables as being boxes that we can put information in, and we put a little label on the front to remind ourselves what's in the box. And so this is a little box with an x on the front, and inside we've put the number 6. So we can just tidy that up a little bit. We're going to make the print command give us a bit more information. So we're going to do double quotes x equals, because remember we can print out lots of things one after another using the print command. So we'll do this, and if we run it, you can see down here that it's showing us x equals 6, which is quite useful. So obviously we can create more than one variable, so I'll do another one down here. We'll go y equals 3. We'll do the same thing with that, so we'll print y equals, and then the contents of the y variable. Lost my mouse, and then we'll print that out. Let's see. Okay, so there you can see x equals 6, y equals 3. And obviously we can change our program. So let's say I wanted to make y equals 2 and run that again. And you can see that the output's changed down here. So the good thing about number variables with Python is that you can do sums quite easily. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to create another variable. Let's call it answer. And I'm going to say inside answer, I want you to put x plus y. And let's print that out. And so when we run this, what Python is going to do is it's going to take the number that's in x, take the number that's in y, add them together, and put that into answer. And so we can see here answer equals 8, which we know is 6 plus 2. So we could actually do that another way. So let's set up a print statement where we print out the value of x. Then we're going to print out a piece of text with a plus sign in it. Then we're going to put in y. And then we're going to put in an equal sign. And then we are going to put in answer. And so this is just a way to format the text to make it look a little bit neater. And when we run this, so x equals 6, y equals 2, answer equals 8, and then this last line we've printed out, well, I'll do it up here. So we've printed out whatever's in x, the plus sign, whatever's in y, equal sign, and then the answer. So you get 6 plus 2 equals 8. So one thing with variables, it's important to remember that you want to print out the contents of a variable, or the value of a variable, what's inside the box, rather than the label on the front. So if I wrote this like this, and this is actually quite a common mistake that people make when they're just starting out programming, is getting confused between when you want to print out a variable and when you want to print out a piece of text. So obviously if I did this, this would be wrong. because this is all just text. So you've got to remember that you take off the double quotes when you want to print out what's inside a variable. So if I want to print out X, and I want to print out Y, and I want to print out the answer, which is just like the line above. And what's also good about Python is I've created this new variable which I put the answer to X plus Y inside, but you don't actually need to do that. If you just want to do the sum in the print statement like that, then that'll work. And just remember that I've written X plus Y there, which means the contents of X plus the contents of Y, and that's different to if I wrote that, which would be just print out the text X plus Y. So if I just go back to there and run that, so you can see that that's produced the same output. These two lines produce the same thing. So either you can work out the result of your sum and put it in another variable, which I've done in this line, or you can actually do your sum inside the print statement like that. It's kind of either way is fine. Sometimes if your sum is very, very complicated, it can be easier to read if you do it first and work it out in a variable and then print out the variable on its own, rather than doing the sum inside the print command, because things can get quite complicated, and when you're trying to just double check that your program's working okay, sometimes it's a bit easier to break it down into step by step so you can follow along with what's going on, and it's easier to spot if you've made any mistakes. But either way is fine as far as Python is concerned. It just gives you exactly the same result. So obviously the good thing about Python and computers in general is that they're very good at sums. So you can pretty much do whatever you want here and it'll give you an answer. So if let's see if we can do something a bit more complicated. X times 1999 plus Y divided by 2 minus X times Y plus X times X times X times Y. And if we run that, it'll give us an answer. But as you can see, it kind of doesn't really matter how complicated the sum is. It can pretty much handle it. Okay, so that's our introduction to number variables done. So we've seen how to remember bits of text, and now we've seen how to remember numbers. In the next video, we're going to look at asking the user to type something in to our program so that we can do something with that. Okay, so that's it for this episode. If you've got any questions, then post in the comments below, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching this video, and remember to subscribe to the channel. Check out the links below for some more videos in this series.